With a focus on leather, brass and copper, I have here a really interesting everyday carry selection with a steampunk vibe. Now I have to say I love the steampunk design style, that mix of Victorian retro futuristic technology and science fiction, and I'm guessing for me that stems from watching certain movies at an impressionable age. Movies such as Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and Journey to the Centre of the Earth and H.G. Wells's The Time Machine. And it's no coincidence that many of the items you see on the shelves behind me also fit that same steampunk feel. Now there are lots of steampunk related items on the market, but most are fashion based or just designed to carry the look, like this hat for example, and dress up is not really my thing. But what I really wanted to find was a range of items that fit the style, which are genuinely practical or useful for everyday carry, not just a load of stuff covered in gears and cogs, despite the fact that my desk is now covered in gears and cogs. So let's start with our first item, which actually is also covered in gears and cogs, but happens to be practical too. As you can see from the packaging, there's no doubt about the steampunk design intention here, and it gets better when you open the lid. My first thought when I saw this was, I don't really care what it is, I just love it. And the detail, as you can see here, is pretty insane. Even the cogs connect and move. And for those that haven't worked it out already, this is a lighter, and an interesting one at that. It's called the Victory, and it's made from a mix of brass and copper, and it uses lighter fluid and a flint striker and works at the push of this button. And when you release your pressure on your thumb, the flame and fuel reservoir move away from the lighter body, which not only looks cool but also means you can light something like a recessed candle without burning your fingers. If we look at the base of the lighter, you can see where the fuel and the flint go, and not only do you get spare flints and a wick, but you also get some spare screws, O-rings and a screwdriver tool as well, which is a really nice touch. This is from a company in the US called Ketuo, and I'll include links to them and to all the items featured in this video in the description down below. And it doesn't stop there, because they have also sent us this one, the Shuttle 581. Very different packaging as you can see, but a similar concept inside. And what we have here is another lighter, but in a more traditional shape. And again, the detail here is super impressive. And again, the cogs mesh and turn, and in this case, add a real fidget factor to the lighter. This has a lock-in release which you need to unscrew, and then you press on the button to fire up the lighter with a spring-loaded action. And again, you have the spares and tool included with the lighter. The price for the Victory is $110, and the 581 comes in at $70, which I think is actually pretty good value when you look at the detail and number of parts involved, and the fact that these are all hand assembled. Okay, before our next item, I would like to introduce something a little more 21st century. These are the latest open ear earbuds from Soundcore, and I'm delighted to say that Soundcore are the sponsor of this video, so a big thank you to them for supporting the channel. Okay, so these are the new C40i earbuds, and being open ear earbuds rather than in ear brings with it some key benefits. The first is that these avoid the discomfort many get, and I know I do, from having in-ear earbuds in the ear for a prolonged amount of time. I find after an hour or so they can become uncomfortable, bordering on painful, but with these you can avoid that completely. Also, because you have an air gap between the earbuds and the ear canal, these maintain airflow, which is great, and also, importantly, they do not block out the external environment, meaning that you are a lot more aware of your surroundings, and that increased awareness means increased safety. It might be a car coming up behind you when out walking the dog, or someone shouting to get your attention. And if you're out, say, jogging or cycling, you really do need to be fully aware of what's going on around you to be safe. In terms of comfort, these are designed to be worn for long periods, and they sit at the back of the ear. They have a springiness thanks to titanium memory wire inside this soft TPU joint, providing a snug fit. And once on, you move them into the most comfortable position and they remain in place irrespective of how much you throw your head about, making these ideal for joggers or for use with any rigorous activity. And you are rewarded with great sound thanks to large titanium drivers which are angled to deliver crystal clear sound directly into the ear and minimize any sound leakage. Another welcome feature here is the addition of a large physical button on each one, avoiding the problem of accidental activation you often get with touch controls. These are simple to use and fall naturally in place for the thumb, offering a reassuring click. The C40i earbuds have 2 microphones built in and use AI to enhance calls. There's no problem wearing these with glasses, as you can see, and I find these fit really well straight out of the box, although Soundcore do also include 2 sizes of ear grips to cover different ear types. And the earbuds come complete with a USB-C charging case, which extends the battery life from 7 to 21 hours. These have just been released in the US as I record this and come with a price tag of $99 and will be coming to the UK and elsewhere soon after. And you'll find all the links you need in the description down below. And now back to the video. Next up, we have this brass pen driver from Countycomm, which looks like it was meant for this selection. Consisting of a machined brass body with a very effective golf ball pattern grip, and it includes 4 1/4-inch bits with a super hard black titanium nitride coating. 3 of the bits are stored in the body and 1 is ready to go, held in place with a reassuringly strong retaining magnet. The black and brass work really well together, but you can always swap out the bits if you don't need the 2 sizes of flathead and Phillips which are included. You also get this practical titanium pocket clip which is held in place with 2 titanium screws. It's weighty at around 100 grams or around 3.5 ounces, but it feels like it means business. As for the price, expect to pay around $40. If you were an inventor in the late 1800s and in need of a key carry solution, then I imagine it would look something like this. This is the Fortius carabiner in solid copper, effectively a large carabiner with a key carry solution built in. Now, there are no sharp edges on this to shred your pockets, although this really lends itself to being clipped onto something like a belt loop or a bag. It has various holes for paracord or key rings and a flathead screwdriver cum pry bar and a selection of small wrenches, including a 1/4-inch bit driver wrench. It comes with a selection of countersunk bolts to cope with up to 14 keys. That's 7 on this side and 7 on this side, and there's a bit of thread lock in place on those bolts to stop them coming loose. You also get some metal and nylon washers to act as spacers and reduce friction. This copper will oxidize over time and develop a unique patina, and as you would expect, there's a bit of weight to this too, being solid copper. As for the price, expect to pay around £59 in the UK or around $45 in the US. And if you like the design but want a lighter weight and lower cost option, then there is an aluminium version too, available in a few colours at around the £40 or $35 mark. I wanted to include a compact pocket knife in our steampunk inspired EDC collection, and here we have the Vulpis 1 from Italian maker Fox Knives. This is compact, as you can see, with a black coated 4.5cm or 1.8-inch sheep's foot blade, making it small enough to be carried on a keyring or in a jeans 5th pocket, but big enough to be genuinely useful day to day. It utilises a quality M390 blade steel that is razor sharp out of the box, and that matte black finish nicely complements the solid brass scales, giving it a weighty quality feel. It's a slip joint knife, and with the small blade makes it legal to carry in most countries including the UK, and it has a confidence inspiring backspring and a secure half stop with a cut through nail nick, all of which makes this very satisfying in use. As for the price, this comes in at around £30 or $40. When looking for a leather wallet with a hint of brass to complement our steampunk selections, I turn to a channel favourite, Wingback, and their cash wallet. This is handmade in London, and like everything Wingback do is based around design and quality that is built to last. The cash wallet here is for those who still embrace notes and don't want to mess around folding notes individually to fit into a credit card sized wallet. This wallet does it for you, in fact, whilst actually remaining credit card sized in the process, and it will take pretty much any size of note too. My minimum wallet carry is 2 cards, a driving license and an air card, and that fits in this single compartment, no problem. Wingback say this wallet will hold up to 8 cards. I would say 4 in this pocket easily. 6 with a bit of a push, and 8 would be a stretch, quite literally. The Italian leather used here smells great and is top quality, and the stitching is minimal, so very little to go wrong here, and the brass fixing we have here works well too with this chestnut coloured leather and our overall theme. There are a few colours to choose from and some personalisation options too, and as for the price, this comes in at £75. Not bad, I would say, considering this should outlast you. Now, I wanted to include a pen with everyday carry in mind, and brass seemed to be the obvious choice of material. And I have here a couple of premium options to choose from, starting with this one here, which is also made by Wingback, and it's called the Journeyman. And as I record this, it's just coming to the end of what is a well-supported Kickstarter campaign. The Journeyman at 125mm or 5 inches is compact and travel friendly, and it's not too big or too small for long writing sessions, and is perfectly balanced in the hand. The diamond knurling provides grip, and the 10mm diameter, we are told, is the sweet spot to avoid writing fatigue. The pen uses Wingback's signature bolt action twist mechanism, which is both precise and addictive and oozes engineering quality. There is also a machined pen clip, which is ideal for attaching the pen to your journal. The O-ring sealed mechanism is unscrewed to reveal a G2 refill, which offers lots of choice. So this is expertly machined and assembled in the UK and designed to last a lifetime with a lifetime guarantee, and it wouldn't be out of place in Captain Nemo's pocket. That hand-built quality though does come at a price which is going to be around £200. No steampunk pen option would be complete without a fountain pen, and this method fountain pen from Andhand perfectly fits the bill. The octagonal profile is a signature of the company and features in all their designs and links nicely to our steampunk machine feel. And you'll notice there's no pen clip here to distract from the clean lines. Andhand are another independent British company, and this is also precision machined from solid brass and features a gold plated Schmidt nib. The push cap creates an airtight seal, so the pen is always ready to go, and an ink converter is included, so you can use bottled ink if you choose, although it will accept standard cartridges for convenience, with room for a spare cartridge contained in the pen shaft. This pen is also perfectly balanced with a nice weight, and there is a choice of fine, medium and broad nibs to choose from when ordering, and this medium nib here writes effortlessly. This one comes in at £115, and if you wanted to add this really nice matching mechanical pencil with a choice of 0.5 or 0.7mm lead, then you can do that too for an extra £65. We need a torch or flashlight in the mix, and I wanted something small, practical and pocketable, and this Oclip from Olight will do nicely, not least because it is now available in this solid copper. Now, if you've not seen one of these before, then you are in for a treat, because this is a great little light. For a start, you have this big clip with rubber grips. It's also self-standing and magnetic and has a lanyard or keyring hole, so you have lots of attachment options. You have a quick access moonlight mode, which is good for up to 30 hours, and 3 additional light levels going up to 300 lumens, which is nice and bright. You also have a red light mode, which can be fixed to help preserve your night vision, or flashing to let people know you're there, perfect for attaching to your bag when on a bike or just walking down an unlit road. And if all that wasn't enough, you also have a strobe and a beacon mode as well. This charges via USB-C, and usefully it also has a lockout mode to prevent accidental activation. So for something this small, this is really capable, and I'm a big fan. And when it comes to price, we have a lightweight aluminium version which comes in at a very manageable £30 or dollars, whilst this copper version is quite a bit heavier on the pocket in every sense, coming in at twice that price at £60 or $60. When researching fidget toys for a recent video, I came across this item, the EDC X-Bone fidget spinner from Lautie, and considering the full-on steampunk vibe going on here, I just had to include it. This is made from copper and stainless steel and looks like it just fell off H.G. Wells's time machine. And like everything from Lautie, the quality here is exceptional, and the price at $170 reflects that. As for practical use, well, there is some evidence to suggest that a fidget spinner can improve concentration and help with anxiety, but for me, I just love the look of this. You get a central low friction spinning axis which is super smooth and incorporates Lautie's signature skull design, and you get 2 additional sub axes which also spin. You can also buy some additional components to adapt your X-Bone, such as this copper and steel connection rod, to transform it into a handheld spinner. Now, there is no doubt many will find these just too weird and expensive and lacking in real world practical use, but if you see it as art, which is what I do with this, then that definition still holds, but actually makes sense. Okay, this next one is not what you would call everyday carry, but it might have been every night carry for some over the last, would you believe, 100 plus years. This work of art here is the German-made Petromax kerosene pressure lamp, in which every part, all 200 hand-assembled pieces, have a defined function combined to create this beautiful form, and with it a reliable, practical, bright, and I mean 400 watts of bright, weather resistant lamp, which has been lighting the way with outdoor adventurers and fishing trawlers and the armed forces, to name just a few, since its invention in 1910. It looks like a piece of fictional art from our steampunk era, and in fact it was invented when steam power was at its peak. And like a machine, we have pipes, valves, a pressure gauge, knobs and levers, a pump, a carburetor, a preheater, not to mention a mantle impregnated with luminous salt. And it's made from brass and nickel, it's ceramic, and it has borosilicate glass. In fact, this is more like an engine than a lamp. There are not many things you can buy today that haven't changed in 115 years. I purchased this one from Heine Haynes in the UK, and it costs £279, so around 300 euros or dollars. Not cheap for a lamp, but I see this more as a piece of history that you can still buy and which still works. And well, look at it. It's almost too nice to use. Almost. Okay, let me talk you through the process of firing this up. I should probably mention this is for outside use, not for indoors. You put kerosene in the tank, and then you use the pump to build pressure, which is shown on this gauge. You then use what is called the rapid heater, which is effectively an internal blowtorch. Just press this lever and use a lighter to ignite the pressurized fuel. This is to heat up the mantle and the surrounding pipework, and you keep this going for around 90 seconds. Then I'm going to open the main valve, which is here, and kerosene under pressure will go up the pipe and vaporize when it hits the preheated pipework, and the kerosene gas will exit into the mantle at some force, mixing with air on the way and igniting when it hits the flame, reacting with the mantle, which is impregnated with luminous salt, resulting in a bright light. Really impressive, I would say, and you can see why this was a revelation compared to the kerosene lamps that came before it. And you don't need to continually pump the lamp, but you might need the odd pump every now and then to maintain the pressure. The light, incidentally, is either on or off. There is no option to control the brightness. And with a full tank, which is 1 litre, you can expect to get around 8 hours of use, which is pretty impressive. So a piece of art, a piece of history, a prepper's dream perhaps, or just an expensive lamp. You decide. Personally, I love it. Well, I hope that has been useful, and if you've enjoyed this one, then you might also like this gentleman's EDC selection right here. And that's it. Thank you as always for watching, and I hope you can join me in the next one.